that's kind of cool. That's really good. That's really good. I would say that I just don't get stuck on some issues that don't matter. But that's also so weird. Life is weird itself anyway. But that's the beauty of it. So, hi. And today I am doing a reminder video for myself. And that's why I'm gonna talk about some of the issues I struggle with recently, so that it kind of reminds me of how things sometimes don't really matter. Like the things that we think at the moment are so big and that we are not able to get over them actually don't really matter. And that's why, yeah, I decided to just do this video. So the short backstory of all of it is that like 2-3 years ago I used to have a video diary. I used to have a video diary and I was recording all of my problems I had. Like I was recording, I was crying, I was breaking up in tears in front of the camera. I was talking about how my day was, how terrible I felt because this guy didn't like me, or this happened, or how I loved what I was feeling, or blah blah blah. And actually, like, I do still sometimes watch, oh my god. okay, I do still sometimes rewatch those videos, and I just realize how those problems don't actually really matter right now. Like, I even forgot about them until I rewatched those videos. Like, dang. That's why I decided to restart that process, because I feel like, honestly, that was like my prime time when I was actually letting go of anything that I was holding on inside me and actually feeling much more better. Considering the fact now that I have a lot of not a lot of, but kind of serious health issues, and they are directly related to my nerve system. And in order to fight that and in order to cure myself, I'm telling y'all guys, the first day doctor told me is that you have to get your nerve system in order because it's not functioning. You have to get it in order. And then I was like, this guy might be right, because I'm not self-reflecting for a quite long period of time. And I'm gonna talk about how self-reflection is also important, and maybe a little bit later. No, not even later. Like, I'm gonna start off with that. So self-reflection, why is it so important? Because we're human beings, because we feel things, we feel not only what we have inside of us, but we also feel things that around us. Like, yeah, there are people who don't feel like things around them, they're not that empathetic or they're not that sensitive, but at the end of the day, everybody has their own feelings and everybody feels something. And self-reflection is very important in order to process all these feelings inside of yourself, and don't let them build them up inside of you. Never ever let feelings build up unprocessed inside of you, because it's the first and the main reason of depression. I'm gonna come off to it, okay, later. But yeah, like, you just should do everything to self-reflect on a daily basis. Like, not once a day, like constantly, every goddamn second of this world. You have to self-reflect and look at yourself and understand, what am I feeling at this exact moment? Or sometimes you don't understand what you feel, and you have to ask yourself, okay, why this happened, and after this I started to feel in a certain way. You have to constantly analyze yourself and how you feel inside of yourself, so that it does not build up. Because when it builds up, it causes a big deep depression. Because the first, okay, what is depression? In fact, it is actually the buildup of all the stresses that people have. Like, it is a mental illness that in the first place is caused by not processing what you feel, and not processing the stress that you feel, and just ignoring it, whether ignoring it or whether not being able to do that because you just simply don't know how to do that. And it's also okay, because we're all humans and we're just learning everything, because we're the first time on this earth. Nobody has, like, we learn it through time, how to reflect on ourselves and how to process our feelings, and actually find efficient ways to process our feelings. So it's all okay. But the main thing in here, the key, is to recognize that you are self-reflecting, or whether you're not self-reflecting, and you have to do that. So yeah, that's why self-reflection is so important. And yeah, as I said before, there's a lot of different ways of self-reflection, which is, in the first place, journaling. A lot of people be like, journaling, okay, but what I'm gonna write about? Trust me, I was the same type of person who was like, journaling, like, but what I'm gonna write about? Like, and right now, like, I genuinely write like 3 pages every day and noon. Every day and noon. I write like 3 pages of how I feel, like, every day. In like, no, every day it makes like 6 pages. Like, I write. I don't know how this happens, but I write so much about how I feel. Turns out I actually feel so much, and you don't realize it until you start feeling it. So the main key in journaling, I would say, the main thing in journaling, I would say, is just to start. Even though you don't know what to write about, just start it. At the moment you start, like, okay, just by writing, okay, today I did this, I met these people, I felt like this. And with every day, while you're gonna continue doing constantly, every day you're gonna notice that you start to write, okay, 3 sentences more, then 2 sentences more, then you write, turns out you write the whole page, and then after a while you already write 2 pages of how you feel, and then you write 3 pages, and then you see you actually write 3 pages every morning and every night, and you actually start to put your feelings in words. So my philosophy behind journaling is this, and why I think it is one of the most important things to do while you're self-reflecting. Because okay, so we all know what is oversharing, right? When, for example, something happens and we're like, okay, yeah, and it gets like heavy inside of us, and we're like, okay, yeah, I want to share it with someone. You have this feeling of, I want to share it with someone, so it gets lighter inside me, right? And okay, I go and tell that to my friend. Okay, I go and tell that to my friend, and I explain everything, what happened, how I felt, why this person didn't do that, blah blah blah. And then I noticed that, oh my god, I overshared. I guess I said too much to this person. Like, I said necessary things, and I also said unnecessary things that, like, that's not cool. Everybody has this feeling, right? But the reason of oversharing, in my opinion, is that we just want to be understood. We just want to be understood by the person which sits in front of us. And it is absolutely normal. It is a normal human need, that we all want to be understood. We all want to be understood just the way we are. And we all want to be understood by the feelings, by the words we say, and just without any questions, without any side questions. We just want people to understand us the way we are, right? But realizing and maturing. No, maturing is realizing that nobody can ever understand you the way you want. Nobody. No person in this goddamn world can understand you the way you want them to understand you. Nobody will understand you the way you expect that. Yes, they might be your closest friend. They know you for over 10 years maybe. You know them for 30 years. Yes, they know the way you think. They know everything about you. They know that maybe you actually didn't mean that. They know, okay? But still they're not gonna get it. They're not gonna get everything the way you want it to project. They won't. They simply won't, because they accept the information from you the way they want it to accept, let's say. And they process it by the experiences that they have. They will understand it the way they want to understand it, even though maybe sometimes you don't mean it. That's why people have misunderstandings. That's why people have conflicts and etc. But that's like exaggerated version of being misunderstood. I'm just saying that on a simply basis, on a daily basis, you should not expect other people to understand you. You should just detach from this thing that people have to understand me. No, they don't have to. Nobody owes you anything. Nobody has to understand you, and it's absolutely okay and normal. And I think at some perspective it's even cool, because like, you're so unique, and each of us are so unique that we don't really understand each other, but we still tend to live on the same earth and communicate and have such a beautiful relationships. Like, I think that has its own beauty in being misunderstood, that you're that you're so with yourself. I mean, yeah, that might be the case, but yeah, the wanting to be understood is a normal human need, but the rough truth is it's impossible. But however, there is only one person who can understand you, and it's you. It's goddamn fucking you who can understand. And guess what? Nobody tries to understand themselves. Nobody tries to understand themselves. Nobody does that. I don't know why. No, okay, I actually understand why. People really tend to run away from their problems and run away from processing it. And it's okay. It's also okay. But you're gonna fall. The faster you run away from your problems, and the faster you run away reflecting on yourself and on your inner, and do the inner work, you're gonna fall as hard as you run. Faster you run, the harder you're gonna fall. That's the math of it. That simply is the math of it. That's why journaling is so important, because you write down everything just the way you want to understand it. You write it down as if you are talking to another person. By writing down every word that comes in your mind at the moment that you analyze the situation, you write it down and you ask those questions. Why they did it to me? Maybe they wanted to do that. Maybe they wanted to do that. You're actually answering your own questions, and unconsciously you're actually talking to yourself. Actually consciously you're talking to yourself and reflecting on a situation the way you want to reflect on it, and understand the situation the way you would have wanted it to be understood by the other person. So this other person you want, so that they understand the situation, is you. It becomes the one. The moment it becomes the one, you win. Because you start to understand it and you're like, okay, yeah, that's good. I understood it. Like, yes, that's it. So yeah, that's why you have to write it down. Everything that you think of at the moment, while analyzing the situation, you have to write it down. Like yesterday I was talking to one of my friends, and she had this misunderstanding with a guy. She rejected him, and she was tending to blame herself about that. And I was like, but you understand that you did it because like you didn't want to have anything with this person. And she's like, yeah, I do understand it, but I still tend to overthink it and just go away from the feeling. But I'm like, no, like you say yourself that you understand it, but why? And she's like, yeah, I did journaling about it. Like I did journal what I was feeling. And I'm like, okay, but you realize that you reject him because you didn't want him. Like you put yourself first and rejected him because not in order not to please him. Like because you put yourself first, you don't want it, as you should. And why then don't you write it down too, that you did it because you didn't want it, this situationship? And she's like, yeah, I don't write it. And I'm like, you have to write it. You have to write it. Because then you forget, and that's why you go overthinking again and again and again, because you did not become the answer that you wanted for this question, as I explained before. And that's why you constantly go back to this question. And that's how overthinking also runs. Like all these problems that we actually have in our head are just because we don't self-reflect. That's why self-reflection is so important. And that's why journaling is also so important. And I noticed it like years ago when I started to journal, but a couple of months ago, I just stopped journaling, which was the end of it. I'm genuinely saying that. Like my health problems started the moment I stopped journaling. Like I don't know, is that a karma or what? But that's how it was. And yeah, that's why I'm slowly going back to journaling again, because this is one of the best ways of self-reflection. The second way of self-reflection is, like I'm doing right now, video diary. Because it's the same way as if you journal, but you just talk. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I tend to do that when I'm so lazy to write, and I'm like, no, my hand's not working. I'm not gonna write that down. Or when I feel that I have so much to say that it's gonna take me like 6 or 7 pages to write, and I'm like, oh my god, no. But I can still not hold it inside of me. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just record a video and talk to myself while watching myself as if I'm talking to the mirror. Okay, I do talk to mirror constantly, by the way, too. Like, people have to really normalize talking to themselves. It's absolutely normal. It's weird when you don't talk to yourself in front of the mirror. Like, it's genuinely weird. Like, then what are you doing? You talk in your head? Like, no, don't talk in your head. At least let it out. So yeah, that's why I'm recording this video, in order to talk to myself and just let it all out. And I'm gonna then push the button stop, play off, and then yeah, that's it. I left all of the feelings and thoughts and everything that I had in that video, and then I can continue my day with a free mind, an open mind to new things. Another good way of self-reflection, third way of self-reflection is doing solo dates. I'm telling y'all, solo dates, I would say, is like the next step of it, because after you process all of your feelings, now it's time kind of to explore yourself. Like, because exploring yourself is also the way of self-reflecting. And how do you want to explore yourself while sitting at home? How do you want to do that? You can't do that. You have to know, do you like to go to cinema, or just sit in a park and listen to music? Or do you like to go hiking or climbing a mountain? Or do you like to jump from a parachute? I don't know what you like, and you don't know what you like, And in order to find it out, you have to go out and do solo dates. So you find it out. But yeah, but journaling, again, is like the top tier, number one. Like, if videos and solo dating is here, journaling is here. Like, I'm genuinely saying that. There is a lot of ways in general of self-reflection, and I would say no matter what method you pick to self-reflect, the key is that you recognize that you need a self-reflection, that you need to let it all out, that you need to express it through art, I don't know, through sports, through going to a museum, through, I don't know, writing it down or recording the video I'm doing right now. You have to recognize that you need to let it out so that it does not build up and you can make it through a long run. That's important. Okay, so that was today's video. That was really long, 20 goddamn minutes, bro. But yeah, that's it. I hope you guys take care of yourselves, and I'm also trying to take care of myself. And yeah, I hope we're gonna make it all together. So yeah, love you guys, see you, and have a nice weekend.